Every once in a while you get the sun, moon, and stars to line up just right. You hit the perfect fishing spot at just the right time, and the most amazing thing happens. Coming up in the next half hour, I'm going to take this spinning rod and reel into some of the most unbelievable speckled trout action I've ever seen. I'm glad you joined us for this one because it's going to be a lot of fun. Fox Sports Outdoors is on the air right now.
You're watching the only program with weekly fishing reports and real-time outdoor news from the Southeast region. This is Fox Sports Outdoors.
In our continuing quest to bring you the very best inshore saltwater fishing along the Gulf of Mexico, over the past few years, we've featured fishing from Mobile Bay to Biloxi Bay, to Bay St. Louis, to Lake Pontchartrain, to Lake Calcasieu, in Texas down to East Matagorda, Trinity, and Galveston Bays. But one bay that we've missed is Sabine Lake, right on the Louisiana-Texas border. Well, not anymore, because today I'd like to welcome you in, right where the Neches and Sabine rivers meet the Gulf of Mexico, to Sabine Lake. It's a great big body of water that's got some great speckled trout, redfish, flounder fishing action, and we hope to feature that for you on this week's episode. And while we're doing that, we're taking you around your local region for your fishing reports from our expert team of insider reporters. As you can see, we've got the Mako 21 LTS launched and ready to go. Let's get out into Sabine Lake. Let's get you started back at the FSN studios with your weekend planner.
According to the Lunar Tables, this weekend will offer a full moon and some great possibilities for anglers. Saturday is forecast to have some of the best game fish activity of the month, with peak times beginning at 1:22 a.m. and 1:50 p.m., while Sunday's conditions are listed as excellent. Expect the sun to rise at 7:48 and set at 6:33 on Saturday. And remember that daylight savings time ends Sunday morning at 2 a.m., so you'll need to set your clocks back 1 hour.
Fox Sports Outdoors is brought to you by MotorGuide Trolling Motors. MotorGuide, because accuracy matters. Lowrance Electronics, celebrating 60 years of fish finding excellence. Find, navigate, dominate. And Excite Technologies, powering the world forward.
There is a nice speckled trout. That's a nice one to start off with. How about that? Well, we've made it out, and I'm in a spot where I caught some fish a couple of days ago, and there's one right off the bat. How about that? Threw right out there and got bit. Welcome back, everybody. We're on Sabine Lake today. And there is a nice speckled trout. That's a nice one to start off with. How about that? Yeah, that's a big boy there. Look at this one. Wow. All right, we're off to a great start. Get you some of that. Oh, yellowmouth, let's get over here in the sun. We're right in that shadow, and you probably can't see him as well, but that is a great start to the morning right there. Nice speckled trout. Well, we're not gonna keep him today. Put him back. That is a great fish to start it. How about that for a first one of the morning? Well, let's orient you to Sabine Lake. It's got a long canal that connects it to the Gulf. We're in the north end of the lake. The lake is 12 miles long, 7 miles wide, and it's just a big open oval bowl. Right now we're just on a tide current. So we've got tide coming out, washing out of a canal back here behind us. It's coming across that bank in front of us, and it's meeting some real muddy water. I'm sitting in muddy water, and there's clear water, tidal water, pulling out of that canal. Right on that color change is where that fish was. So we're off to a great start. Sabine Lake, never been here before, but I'm really impressed with the quality of the speckled trout already. Let's get things started with fishing and lake reports from where you live.
This portion of the show is brought to you by the state of Mississippi, where fishing fun is year-round and where the Mississippi Gulf Coast offers some of the best inshore angling and offshore adventures anywhere in the world. So start your fishing trip in a true south, Mississippi.
Well, southeast Georgia has been on fire for redfish and spotted sea trout.
Captain Tim Cutting of St. Simon's Island was telling me that he's catching lots of small trout and lots of small redfish along the inshore waters there. He prefers incoming tides to some of the bigger creeks and along the intercoastal waterway. He's working over shell bars. When that clear salty water comes flowing over those shell bars, that's when the fish turn on. He's catching them with popping corks and float type rigs using live shrimp and DOA plastic shrimp, as well as gulp shrimp. Bull redfish also are in great supply along the barrier islands of Georgia, particularly that southeast part of the coast. The shoals and the beach areas have been very good, but also the deep holes around the inlets and the river mouths. In South Alabama, Captain Patrick Garmison is doing very well on redfish of all sizes, from rats to bulls, working at Mobile Bay and Mississippi Sound area. In Mississippi, the redfish are on fire too. The marsh areas, the larger creeks and rivers in the marshy areas, allows anglers to get out of the wind, and there's some really fun fishing during flowing tide areas by throwing small crankbaits. These are these little small short-lived wake baits made by a number of different companies. Cast those long distances, crank them back, pause. They only run 2 or 3 feet deep, and the hits from redfish are just bone rattling. Well, that's it for the coast. Get out in the water and take a youngster with you when you go.
This week's Alabama, Georgia, and Mississippi Freshwater Fishing Report is sponsored by Twin Waters Inn on Captiva Island, Florida. This historic Gulf Coast destination offers motel and cottage accommodations, full resort amenities, 2 restaurants, and beach access. The Twin Waters Marina also is your doorway to great fishing on the Gulf of Mexico and Pine Island Sound. As we enter the month of November, the fish across our region are getting an urgency about their feeding, because they know the cold, lean months of winter are headed their way. It's time for us to take advantage of that situation. Now is a good time to troll for crappie on Alabama's Lake Jordan on the Coosa River. Expect these fish to be in water as deep as 30 feet, but this month they're probably suspended at only about 6 feet below the surface. A Roadrunner lure trolled about 40 feet in back of the boat on 6-pound test line is a good setup for this action. Now, fall crappie on Jordan often reach the 2-pound mark, so a stringer of real slabs is a possibility. In northwest Mississippi this week, white bass are being caught on 98,520-acre SouthEAST Lake. These fish are out on the main lake points and they're ambushing the schools of shad. Largemouth bass bite is on right now on High Falls Lake in middle Georgia, just northeast of Macon. You want to throw jig and pig combos to the docks and other wood cover to draw the most strike.
That's a giant one. Look at the mouth on that. Oh, baby. There he is. There he is. I got one. Oh, that's a good pull. Hey, welcome back, everybody. We're still on Sabine Lake today, our first trip here. And we've talked about several of the factors involved in catching speckled trout and redfish both. Is you've got to be where the bait is. These fish primarily feed on mullet, shrimp, crabs, and glass minnows. Whoa, he just took a bunch of drag. And so when you pull into an area, the first thing you want to do is scan the surface with your naked eye and just see if you see bait flipping around on the surface. That's going to be your first clue, because the fish are going to be close behind. Oh, look at this trout. Look at this trout. Got him. Man, these are big old trout, man. So I pulled up in this little point. There we go. There's your good speckled trout. Look at the girth on that fish. Look how wide this way he is. Very healthy fish. I'm using a real brightly colored plastic shrimp imitation. I think that's a voodoo shrimp right there. It's got pink on the tail, chartreuse jig head. I'm trying to get a lot of color in this off-colored water. That is a gorgeous speckled trout right there. We're releasing these bad boys. Away he goes. Look right here. That's a grass point. And when I pulled in here, I just scanned with my eyes and I could actually see the mullet jumping around, and I saw little shrimp flicking around on top. So there's your real keys. You've got to be where the bait is. And I'll show you another shot here on my graph. as I pulled up here, I could actually see them. The water's only 6 or 8 feet deep here, but I could see a lot of bait straight underneath my transducer on my Lowrance HDS carbon units here. Here's Fishing and Lake Reports for you.
Hey folks, it's time for your Carolinas Report. This week brought to you by the Dead Dog Saloon. It's fall. It's that time of the year. Come down. We're located on the Marsh Walk here in Merle's Inlet along the Grand Strand. Open 7 days a week for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And here, it's always about the food, the view, and the music. I'll tell you what, this week it's all about the salt water. So many things going on. If you're a big speckled trout fan like I am, it's that time of the year. Live shrimp, you can't beat them. Stop at your local bait store, get out and catch them yourself. They are what the fish are biting right now. Had some great success these cold nights that we've had this week and last week. We're seeing some more coming the next couple weeks. Those trout are going to move into your inlets. Whether you're up in Little River, up in North Carolina, down in Beaufort, you're going to be loading up with these trout. The bigger trout are here. Get out there and have a great time. Float with adjustable depth cork. You're going to catch a lot of fish. Also, the king mackerel bite continues to be incredible on those live bottoms and nearshore reefs. Big fish this time of the year. Make sure you got some big baits. Huge Man Hayden located right there on your beaches. Go out, throw the net, catch them up. Go out and catch some big fish. It's that time of the year. This has been your Carolinas Report. It's brought to you by the Dead Dog Saloon. Remember, fish smarter, not harder, and keep your chaos organized.
There's one. Oh, good trout. Look at him jump. Look at him jump. Good trout. Let's just see if I can just grab him. There's one more for you right there. Well, these fish are biting good. This water right here might really look muddy, but one thing I've learned is that the fresh water rises to the top, the salt water sinks, the salinity in the water is heavier, goes to the bottom. So if you've got a lot of muddy water coming in, fresh water coming in, you want to let your bait sink down a little bit deeper, let it hit the bottom every time. The trout are going to sink down there closer to the bottom. The redfish don't care, but the trout definitely do. Fish a little deeper for trout when you've got fresh, muddy water coming in like we do today. I want to show you what happened yesterday. We came out with the suction cup camera, the little selfie camera, by myself and caught what might be the biggest trout I've ever caught in my life. These fish came up blowing up on big mullet on top, and watch what happened. I don't know what this is. That is a giant speckled trout. Holy cow. Look at this. I'm gonna have to get the net after this. Get in that net. That is a big trout right there. Yeah. Wow. I caught the mother lode. Wow, look at this big bad boy. Man, that's a giant one. Look at the mouth on that. Oh, baby. Well, let me explain what happened while I'm getting it loose. I pulled in here and there's just tons of bait right at the mouth of a little ditch. Just to the right here, you can see a little ditch in there, and all of a sudden some fish started blowing up on mullet, big mullet. I don't think I've ever seen fish blowing up on mullet that big, and I knew it had to be something big. And so I picked up a heavier rod and reel with bigger line on it, 17-pound fluorocarbon on it. I never expected to do that here at Sabine Lake. Man, I've heard that there's just tons of fish here, but I didn't know that there were bad boys like that. Wow, that is just absolutely fantastic on a popping cork right up next to the bank, and he pulled it under and just absolutely killed it. Big old huge trout. Man, let's put that bad boy back. Back he goes. And there she goes.
Fox Sports Outdoors is brought to you by Tracker Boats. It's more than a boat, it's a tracker. Mercury Marine, go boldly. And Costa Sunglasses, see what's out there.
Golly, what a rodeo, man. Fish, got it. That feels like a smaller trout. It's a good trout. I thought it was smaller. Golly, what a rodeo, man. Boy, this has really been something. Glad to have you with us, everybody. We're having a great time today. Catching good-sized speckled trout like that one at Sabine Lake. And we've talked about bait, the presence of bait being critical. We've talked about tide lines. One thing we haven't talked about is current. The fish want current. All the saltwater fish are dependent upon current. It's really not like what I grew up doing, fishing a reservoir, where you're looking for specific spots and you're looking for structure. You can have a flat bottom for miles, but if you've got current pulling across it, tidal current, then there's a good chance the fish will be there. So what you're looking for is you want moving water. Lots of ways to tell. I mean, you can watch debris on the surface of the water and see which way it's moving. It's a dead giveaway if you see debris that's moving against the wind. That's one way I always tell if I've got current in an area. The other way is just to let your boat sit and watch what it does based on the shoreline. A lot of current ripping up through here, tidal current, and the fish are here as well. Let's get you some fishing and lake reports.
Hey guys, thanks for joining us for the Tennessee and Kentucky Fishing Report. It's brought to you by Orion Coolers. You know, not all coolers are created equal. When you check out the construction, the customization, and the accessory options of an Orion, I guarantee it'll be a game changer. It'll be the last cooler you'll ever own. Check them out at orioncoolers.com. You know, it is sunny. The temperatures are falling, but it is beautiful here in Tennessee and Kentucky right now. This region is starting to feel fall for the first time. In Kentucky, Barron River's good right now. I heard some great reports out of there. Lake Cumberland is on fire. Those big smallmouth spots, largemouth are really doing it, and the striper bite is hot. Just look for surface activity early and late in the day. The Tennessee River, Chickamauga, Kentucky Lake, the bass are pushing shallow on main lake bars and flats. It's really good right now. Topwater baits, lipless crankbaits, fast moving baits. Just cover water right now. That's the thing to do. Look for bait, look for surface activity, look for schooling fish, birds, what have you, cover water. The catfish bite throughout the region's good based on current as well, and we've had some rain which has helped that. The Cumberland River is going to be my go-to spot for catfish right now, as well as Kentucky Lake and the Tennessee River. But guys, it's not going to do anything but get better as the temperatures start to fall. Obviously, you need to be a little bit more precautious this time of year as the water's cooling off, you know, with safety and things of that nature. But as you can see, you've got a lot of empty lakes and a lot of empty boat ramps. So guys, we'd love to see you here. Have a great day. God bless.
There's one way back up here against the bank. Let's see what I got. See if that's a red fish up here real shallow. No, it's a big old trout. It's a big old trout. Look at these bad boys. Wow. Whoa. Man, he's powerful. How about that? Another big old trout. Man, I've caught a bunch of good ones today. There's a good toad right there. All right, we're gonna let this fish go back right quick. See you, buddy. And I want to show you just a little bit more of the day I had yesterday fishing with my little GoPro camera all by myself. Caught several nice trout. Here's a quick little snippet. We'll go to a quick break, come back and give you a little more information about Sabine Lake. Boy, these are some good ones in here. Look at that dude. Wow, that's a fat one. All right, I want you to check out not just the size of that fish, but look how wide that fish is and how fat he is. That fish is obviously very healthy, doing a lot of eating. They're just gorging themselves on shrimp. The brown shrimp are in Sabine Lake right now at the time that we're here. The lake is just full of them right now. They came in out of the Gulf. They've had several little tropical depressions, tropical waves move through here. And every time they do, a new fresh batch of brown shrimp moves in off the Gulf. Oh, that's a beautiful gold looking fish right there. That one has got some amazing color on it. That is a bright goldfish. That's really cool. Look at the beautiful color on that speckled trout. Oh, we are catching the trout now. They are very brightly colored, real gold, bright yellow mouth. They're just some beautiful fish. One more to show on camera. Beautiful fish.
Be sure to join Fox Sports Outdoors again next week, Thursday night at 6, or catch the repeat airing Sunday morning at 8:30. And you can always watch the latest episode in full HD on the front page of our website at foxsportsoutdoors.com. Plus, catch up on all past episodes by clicking the archive button. And see lots of our how-to and product videos by selecting the how-to button. Join our online fishing community. Just click the like button on our Facebook page for access to daily posts with lots of fishing news, videos, and frequent giveaways. And stay up to date with all the latest fishing information and photos by following our Twitter feed. Fox Sports Outdoors is brought to you by Luz, fueled by passion, driven by innovation. Feel the difference. Gene LaRue Bass Baits and Bobby Garland Crappie Baits, the leaders in soft plastic lures innovation. And NITRO Performance Fishing Boats. Champions aren't born, they're made.
Welcome back, everyone. It's time for the Ask the Pro question. This week, Casey asks, what size and style of hook would you recommend for fishing 10 or 12-inch plastic worms? For an answer, we asked the 2012 Bassmaster Classic champion, Chris Lane.
When you're fishing a big worm, something we do a lot in Florida, you know, the big 10 to 13-inch worms. One thing that really seems to play a big factor is that hook set. Me personally, I'm throwing at least a 6/0 hook. That's generally what I throw in there. You can either use a straight shank or an off shank, but make sure you bring it through, skin hook it on the side.
Thanks, Chris. If you have a question for one of the anglers, visit our website, follow the Ask the Pro link on the right side of the page, and send it in. Now, one lucky viewer wins a new pair of sunglasses on the Costa Catch of the Week.
Here is this week's winner in the Costa Catch of the Week contest. He's Derek Morgan of Clinton, South Carolina, showing a 10-pound, 5-ounce largemouth bass he caught at Brown Lake, South Carolina. If you'd like to be our next winner, just go to our website at foxsportsoutdoors.com, click on the Costa Catch of the Week box on the right side of the homepage, and follow the instructions to send us your photo. And if you'd like to see all of the Costa frame and lens styles, just go back to our homepage and click on the Costa logo. There you'll see all of the lens styles and colors and all the beautiful frame styles and colors, including the frame style I was wearing on this week's episode. This one is called Raphael. Having never visited here before, I had no idea of the rich history and cultural heritage of the Golden Triangle area of Beaumont, Port Arthur, and Orange, Texas, and the surrounding towns. If you come, and I recommend that you do, be sure to visit these places: the Shangri-La Botanical Gardens in Orange, the Museum of the Gulf in Port Arthur, the Sabine Pass Battleground State Historical Site in Sabine Pass, and Larry's French Market and Cajun Restaurant. Those are must-sees and well worth your time. Very interesting. I learned a lot just being here for a few days. And if you want to book your own guide trip, here's Randy Foreman's contact information if you'd like to come out here and experience some of the great fishing like we did. And if you want a great place to stay, here's the contact information for the La Quinta Inn, Bridge City. Veronica and her crew do a great job, perfectly located right in the middle of all the action, clean rooms, newly remodeled, everything you need, all in one place, the La Quinta Inn, Bridge City. From the Golden Triangle, Sabine Lake, Texas. Until next week, I'm Barry Stokes. Be safe, have fun. Bye-bye, y'all.